Okay, let's unhaul some books. It's the start of August and I'm about to go on holiday, but before I do, I have got to film this clip and talk to you about my July reads. That is quite a stack. I'm going to put this down before they fall. So we're just going to go through. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with each book. That's the format of the video. You know this, I don't know why I'm telling you that. Okay, so first of all, we've got The Sleepwalkers by Scarlett Thomas. That is going into the unhaul pile. Enjoyed it. It was a bit weird. I think I gave it 3 stars. I'm not going to read it again. Then we've got All the Colours of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. This is very kindly gifted by the lovely Heather at the Bookish Brummy. I DNF'd this about halfway through. It is a chunk. So I'm obviously not going to be picking it up again, but I've got someone very specific in mind who I think will enjoy this, so that will go into the unhaul pile. We've also got Rules of the Heart by Janice Hadlow, another book that I DNF'd. This was kindly sent to me by Book Break. Again, I just got a bit bored about 100 pages in. However, I've got someone very specific that I know for sure will be excited for this, so I'm going to get that into their hands. Different person to All the Colours of the Dark. Then we have The Ophelia Girls by Jane Healy. I am keeping this one. This was from my reread project, so that will go back onto my shelves. We have Alchemy and a Cup of Tea by Rebecca Thorne. This is another ARC I was sent by the lovely people at Book Break. And again, I've got someone very specific whose hands I'm going to put this into. I have got my finished copy arriving this month. But yeah, I know someone who'd really appreciate this ARC. I have Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This is going to go into the school library because I know lots of my kids love this series. I enjoyed this. I probably won't continue. So yeah, that can go out. I've also got Girlhood by Carolyn Hayes. This was also part of the reread project. I'm definitely keeping this book. That will go back onto my hardback shelves. We have got Laura Olympus of Volume 6 by Rachel Smythe. I was kindly gifted this by the lovely Marianne at Cuppa Books. This is definitely going to join the rest of my... what is the word I'm looking for? The rest of my... what is this? Graphic novel collection. So that will definitely go onto the shelves. They're so heavy, those books. We also have Human Rights by Juno Dawson. This will be going into my favourite stack. This is my favourite read of July. I will put my July reading vlog underneath if you're interested. So this will go into my favourite stack. Incidentally, that stack is very blue, black and purple so far this year, which is not deliberate, but this book will fit right in. So that will go into my favourite stack. Also going onto my shelves is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. I was also gifted this by the lovely people at Book Break and Tor, as well as Olivia Savannah, so thank you very much to them to put this into my hands. I do have a full reading vlog for this book, so if you're interested, I'll link that underneath. And this will go and sit next to The Spell Shop on my shelf. And finally, another one going back onto my shelves because I reread it in July, and that is Babel by R.F. Kuang, and yeah, this will go back onto my hardback shelves. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going out in the unhaul, rest going back onto my shelves. That is the clip for the July books. I'm going to go on holiday right now, and then I suspect that the August clip will be far longer because I am attempting a 31 in 31. It's the middle of August, we're in the middle of a heat wave, and I've got the windows open because if I close them I will cook and I'll die. So not to be dramatic, that's why there's background noise. And I'm not kind of scheduled, sorry that's a particularly loud bike going past. I'm not scheduled to come and film an unhaul clip right now. However, at the weekend I decided to tidy my bookshelves downstairs and these books have come off my shelves. So I wanted to film a quick clip so that I can send them on their merry way. Let me just move, I've been filming my 2nd August vlog, which I'll link underneath if you're interested. So move those books out of the way. So yeah, I just decided these are books that I am not going to go back to, I don't need to keep. I've got multiple copies of, all of that sort of stuff. So the first one is Jane Eyre, obviously by Charlotte Bronte. I got this beautiful edition. I think it came in a mystery box from Elena's bookshop. I'm not sure, I think so. But I have got multiple copies of this book, and it's a book I love, but it's not like a favourite. And I'm starting to run out of space on my shelves. So this little cute edition can go into the school library. This is the Wordsworth Collector's Edition, yeah. And I know some of my kids will enjoy picking this up and reading this from the school library, so that's going to go. Also, The Mad Woman's Ball by Victoria Mass. I've read this a couple of times, would highly recommend it. It's set in an asylum in 1885 in Paris. It's got a gorgeous cover. I've read it a couple of times, but I can't imagine I will go back to it a 3rd time, so that's going out. I'm also unhauling Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. I love this edition. I am purely getting rid of this because the lovely Chloe bought me a hardback copy when she went to the States a couple of months ago, and I just don't need 2 copies of this book on my shelf, and the hardback copy is prettier, so that one's going out. I'm also unhauling the Ophelia Girls by Jane Healey. Now, in the previous clip, I think in this vlog, I was like, this is going back on my shelves. But I've thought about it since. I've now read this twice, and I don't think I'll read it a third time. So again, this can go out into the world. This is a lovely signed copy that I got from Toppings, but I just don't think I'm going to go back to the story a third time. I feel like I've kind of got it in my head now, and I don't need to read it again. I've decided to unhaul the whole trilogy by Terza Price? Yeah, the Jane Austen murder mystery series. So we've got Pride and Premeditation. I love these covers. Manslaughter Park, and Sense and Secondary Murder. I'm just going to hold this one up because holding all 3 is kind of annoying. I love this series. They are Jane Austen retellings. Highly recommend it. As you can tell from the titles, they are kind of Jane Austen with a murderous twist to them. Really clever. However, I have read them on audiobook. I've read them physically with my eyes, and I just don't think I'm going to read them again. It also doesn't look like she's going to complete the series and do the other 3 Jane Austens. And this takes up a lot of space. So I think these are considered middle grade, so they can go into the school library, and I'm sure the kids will have fun with them there. And then finally, I've decided to unhaul Middle Game by Shauna Maguire. This is a copy that I tabbed, so I'll obviously take the tabs out before I donate it or unhaul it to somebody. I've loved this story. I've read this 2 or 3 times. Like I said, I've tabbed it. However, I just can't see me going back to it again. I didn't like the sequel or the prequel. I unhauled that previously. This could be a standalone. It's creepy, it's gothic, it's dark academia. Like I said, I would highly recommend it. I just don't think I'm going to go back to it again. So those are another 8 books that are on their way out, and I've got a bit more space on my shelves. It's the start of September. I am in my bookworm hoodie. I've got 2 cats in the room, one of whom is just about finished doing his zoomies, but he might be going again in a second. That's Jack, so I apologize if you can hear background noise. And I need to do my unhaul clip for August, and this is going to be quite a long clip because I have 33 books to go through. I will link my August vlogs below. I completed a 31 and 31 in August, and I also got rid of a couple of books unread, which I'll tell you about in a second. And yeah, this is sorry, that's Jack, that bell noise. I've also got Molly down here who's looking a little bit concerned that she's going to get jumped on. But yeah, let's go through these books. So first of all, Staying is Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. I really enjoyed this. This is book 2 in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. You'll see book 1 in a minute, but I'm keeping that one. Going Out, because spoiler for that August vlog, this is my most disappointing read, is Upside Down by N.R. Walker. This is a self-published or indie published book with ace representation. I only gave it 3.5, and like I said, it was my most disappointing read of the month, so that one's going out. Oh, I've just nearly knocked the stack over. Definitely staying, and going into my favourite stack, which you can see just here, is The Safe Keep by Yael van der Wooden, my favourite read of August. Really fantastic, really atmospheric. I can see why it won the Women's Prize. Also going out, because I decided to unhaul it unread, is The Man Who Wasn't There by these 2 authors. I won't try and say them because I'll probably butcher them. I got this in a mystery date with a book when I was seeing Steph from a secondhand bookshop, and I'm just not interested. I've read the first couple of pages. It wasn't grabbing me, so out that goes. Also going out is The Memory of Midnight by Pamela Hart-Shawn. This is a historical fiction book that I picked up secondhand a while ago, but I'm just not really reading historical fiction at the moment. And again, read the first few pages and it wasn't grabbing me, so that's going. Going into the school library is this collection of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, obviously by Hans Christian Andersen. I got this in Melena's bookshop. It's the most beautiful edition. This is the... Is it the Wordsworth? Yeah, the Wordsworth editions, hardback edition. I read this as part of my 31 and 31, obviously. Really enjoyed it, but I'm not going to read it again. And it might be fun to put that into the library for the kids. Also going out is A Room Full of Bones by Ellie Griffiths. I got this in my Christmas advent calendar. I enjoyed it. It was okay, but I'm not going to read it again. Also for the same reason is Murder at an Irish Chipper by Charlene O'Connor. This was fun, and if you're looking for cozy mystery, this is a good one. This did make me laugh out loud a couple of times. Again, it's from my advent calendar, but again, I'm just not gonna. It's not going to be a repeat. Also from the advent calendar is Charlie Hedges' Missing. This is non-fiction, all about his life working on missing persons cases. Interesting and well written, but I'm just not going to read it again. I also read and enjoyed The Dartmoor Murders by Stephanie Austen. This is book 4 in a series. I can't remember what the series is called. The Devon Mystery series. It starts with From Devon with Death. And yeah, this was fine. It didn't really set my world alight, but I did enjoy it at the time. However, I'm not going to read it again. Also going out is The Wishing Game by Meg Schaffer. I know a lot of you absolutely love this book. It made a lot of people's favourite books of the year last year. I can see why. I did really enjoy it. It's a book about a book and a mysterious author, and it's a little bit kind of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but for grown-ups. It was really charming. I did enjoy it, but I'm not going to read it again. Another one heading out is The Raven's Head by Karen Maitland. This was given to me by my boss at work for International Book Giving Day, which I think was in February. Jack is now doing Zoomies again, so apologies for the noise. Historical fiction set in Norfolk in 1224, all about the kind of pursuit of the Philosopher's Stone. Again, enjoyed it enough. It was entertaining. It was a lot faster paced than I was expecting, but again, I'm just not going to reread it. Also heading out is Ben Shattuck. That's Jack seeming. Ben Shattuck's The History of Sound. I borrowed this from my brother, so this will go back to him. Let's make another pound. Also heading out is Notes on an Execution by Dania Kakowska. Another one I really wanted to read. Chloe was kind enough to unhaul this to me when she did unhaul. We are looking at a man who is on death row, and it's about 24 hours before he's due to be executed, but we are following 3 women who are connected to and affected by him. I thought it was well written. It was interesting structure, but I was a little bit bored, so that is definitely going back out into the world. Also heading into the school library is Why She Wrote, which is by Lauren Burke and Hannah K. Chapman and illustrated by Kaylee Bales. This is a graphic history of the lives, inspiration and influence behind the pens of classic women writers. I feel like particularly the girls in my school will get a real kick out of this and learn some stuff about some really influential female writers. So that's definitely going into the school library. Also headed out is Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid. I bought this in the Waterstones New Year sale. It's a retelling of Macbeth, obviously from the perspective of Lady Macbeth. It does have some fantasy elements and some unexpected elements. I enjoyed it more than I was expecting to, but it's not a keeper, so that one is going out. Let's put that in that pile. Also leaving is A Stroke of the Pen, The Lost Stories by Terry Pratchett. Again, I think I'm going to put this into the library at school, or I might just offer it straight to our librarian, who I think if she hasn't read this will love this. I really enjoyed this. This was a cozy good time. It's just not one that I'm going to reach for again. This is a collection of short stories written by Terry Pratchett that were kind of found, edited and published after his death. Also heading out, and this one I think I will put into the school library, is 18 by Alice Loxton. This is a history of Britain in 18 young lives, and this is looking at a collection of different historical figures and what their life was like at 18. Again, enjoyed it. It's just not going to be a reread. Then we're on to the paperback stack. Heading out also is The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikara. This one, I can think of at least 3 of my friends who might like to read this one, so I'm going to pass it on to them. I enjoyed this. This is definitely the most successful for me Japanese fiction book that I've read, translated obviously. But it's just really sad, and it's not one that I'm going to come back to. My brother and sister-in-law gave it to me for Christmas, and I did enjoy it, but it's very bittersweet, and I'm not going to read that again. Heading into the school library is Solitaire by Alice Oseman, mostly because we can't keep Alice Oseman's books in the library long enough because kids love them so much. I liked this, I didn't love it, so it can definitely go out. And this is following Tori, who is Charlie's sister from the Heartstopper graphic novels. And it follows her over the course of a school year. And yeah, like I said, I liked it but didn't love it, and definitely the kids will enjoy it in the school library. Also going out, I'm hardly keeping any books. I've got 2 so far that I'm keeping. Also going out is Leave the World Behind by Rumen Alam. I bought this very cheap in a charity shop. I knew about the ending and I'm glad I did. Google it if you want to know. I did enjoy it to a point, but the ending, predictably enough, I found quite frustrating. The Mountain in the Sea by Ray Naylor is one that I read and I still don't think I understood. This is about a woman who goes to an island to perform experiments on octopi, and it's sci-fi. It's kind of almost end of the world type fiction, and yeah, I still don't think I understood it. It does, however, have a very cool cover. Also heading out, and it's got a bookmark in it, is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I really enjoyed this. This was my first Emily Henry book. It came with its own bookmark. And I did get the sprayed edition from The Works, which is very pretty. This is my first one. It definitely won't be my last, but it's, again, not a keeper. It's not one I'm going to return to. Also heading out is The Dare by Leslie Cara. This also came in my advent calendar. It was enjoyable enough, but it didn't really set my world alight, and it can go out into the world for somebody else to enjoy. Staying on my shelves, because I've got the second book in the series to read, is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. This is really fun. Like I said, I've got book 2 on my shelf because I was very kindly gifted it for my birthday. And it's exactly what you think it's going to be from the title and the cover. Really fun, cozy romance, quite spicy. I'm looking forward to book 2. Heading Out is another one from Chloe, which is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. This was a lot less, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a lot easier to read than Earthlings. It was a lot less traumatizing than Earthlings. This is literally the story of a woman who works in a convenience store. I did enjoy it. I appreciated the writing, but I'm not going to read it again. Also heading out from my advent calendar is Victoria Hislop's Cartis Postalis from Greece. This was really interesting. You can kind of see my August vlogs for more details on all these books, obviously. Historical fiction, sort of. It's like a book within a book. I really enjoyed it, and I need to pick up more Victoria Hislop. Also heading out is Her Last Holiday by C.L. Taylor. Is this one my husband's reading? Yeah, Gary is currently reading this one, so this will stay for a bit, and then it will go out into the world. Another kind of thriller, domestic drama kind of book. Again, enjoyable, but it didn't set my world alight, and I won't be keeping it. Also heading into the school library is this beautiful sprayed edge copy of Mayowa and the Sea of Words by Chibundu Ondu. I wanted to love this, and it didn't quite get there for me. It felt a little bit basic. However, I am not the target audience, and some of the kids at school will be, so that'll go into the school library. Staying is Done and Dusted by Lion Sage. This is book 1 in the Rebel Blue, am I saying this right? Rebel Blue Ranch series. I've got the entire series. I've got books 3 and 4 on my TBR upstairs to read, so I'm going to keep this series until I've read all of them and then decide what I'm doing with them. I did only give this a 3.5, which would normally mean that I'd unhaul it, but I gave the second book 4.5. So we're going to keep it to that for now, and I'll make a decision once I finish the series. One I really enjoyed but is still heading out is A White Christmas on Winter Street by Sue Moorcroft. I've got a particular friend in mind for this one. And yeah, this was fun. This came from my advent calendar and was kind of a nice cozy read. Another one that is heading out is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Again, I've got someone specific in mind for this. This is the sprayed edge edition. And this was a fun hockey romance, although I would argue there wasn't much hockey in it, but I did enjoy it. I would definitely recommend it. Another one that I would recommend, but I'm not going to read again, is Black Candle Women by Diane Marie Brown. This is about a family of women who live under a curse in that any man they fall in love with dies. And when their 16-year-old brings home a boy for the first time, the older women kind of have to decide how they're going to deal with it. So yeah, I enjoyed this. Again, another gorgeous cover, but I'm not going to read it again. I've now got a very precarious stack, so if you hear a crash in a minute, you know what has happened. And then the final book for this section is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I really wanted to love this. I think I only gave it 3.5 stars. I don't think I understood it, but it does have a beautiful cover, and I feel like it was well written. I just didn't connect with it personally. So yeah, that is going out. So in this clip, I am keeping 4 books and unhauling 29, I think, something like that. So yeah, August was a busy reading month. Okay, it's the start of October, so I need to go through my September reading stack. So it's all a little bit in disarray because I've just been filming, just been filming the end of the September vlog, which I'll link underneath. But let's go through these books. So first of all, Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. This is definitely staying. This is going into my favourite stack, my favourite read of September. Spoiler if you haven't seen that vlog. Absolutely adore it. Look at these sprayed edges. Look at these end pages. It's signed. It's beautiful. It's staying. So I'm keeping that one. Going out is The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godfrey, which I am a bit conflicted about because I really enjoyed this, gave it 4.5 stars. However, I just don't think I'm going to pick it up again. So that one's going out. Also going out is Class War, A Teacher's Diary. This is anonymous, so I don't have an author for this. This was okay. It's non-fiction about the life of a teacher, as you can probably guess from the title. Gutted about this book. This is going out, and this is the beautiful sprayed edge Waterstones special edition. It's absolutely stunning. Show the end pages again before it goes out. Oh, it's so pretty. I can't keep it. I cannot keep it because I DNF'd it. this one hurts me. But somebody will find this and be very excited about it. So yes, that beautiful book is going out into the world. Also going out is The Thorns by Dawn Kurtak something. This was another one I DNF'd in September. Very cool cover, but yeah, this just didn't work for me. And another DNF is Bright and Deadly Things by Lexi Elliott. Yeah, I got about a quarter of the way into this and just didn't care about the character. It's also this really annoying giant size. So yeah, that one is going out. Let's try and stack this in a way that it won't immediately fall over. Going onto my shelf because it will go and sit with the rest of its series is The Gingerbread Bakery by Laurie Gilmore. Again, look how cute this cover is. You've got two little kittens here. It's Christmassy. I really enjoyed this. I think I gave it a 4.5. So yeah, that will go and sit with the rest of the series. And then also going back onto my shelf because it's a reread is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. Do I need to explain this book again? Probably not. Also going back on, is it actually? I think this is going to go out. So this is Other Women by Emma Flint, which is a book I love and I would have given 5 stars, read it twice. Do I think I'll read it a third time? I don't think so, and I can get the audiobook if I want to. So I think I'm going to pass on this one and create a bit more space on my shelves. Speaking of books that I've really enjoyed and I'm going to unhaul, You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Kweki Emeze. Look at this cool spine. Again, I've read this twice, thoroughly enjoyed it both times. I think I might have downgraded it slightly to a 4.5 this time around, but anyway, I'm just not going to read it a third time, and if I do, the audiobook is excellent. Proof that I had this month is Two's a Charm by Heather Spellman. This is very cute, kind of fun, cozy fantasy, very wicked, coded, but I'm not going to read it a second time, so that one is also going out. And going definitely back onto the shelf because it's going back into the favourite stack for the year is Human Rights by Julia Dawson, which is the conclusion to the HMRC trilogy series, depending on how you look at it. So I've got 4 going onto my shelves, and how many coming off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 going out. So that's the end of the unhaul for the July, August, September. I have no idea at the time of filming this how many books going out. I would have put it in the title. I feel like it's been a good 3 months for clearing books off shelves. I do still need to take some of them away, but I will deal with that in the next few weeks. I've been having some medical issues which have made getting to the charity shops difficult, but we will get there in the end. Let me know what you guys think of this format. I think I said that at the start of this video, but yeah, let me know what you think. If you got to this point in the video, leave me a bird emoji for this cover, so just to let me know you got to the end. Please subscribe if you'd like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone, bye.